We just had some technical problems, but ayun, I would like to thank you all for your presence with us here tonight. So, ayun, I would like to ask, before I start. So, do we have first time attendees here? Or baka naman merong mga naka-attend na sa previous webinars ng Yakal? Kasi this is actually our fourth webinar, in line with our National Human Rights Consciousness Week events. So, ayan. Can I get a clap react, guys, to see if you're here with me tonight? Ayan, very active ang ating body, So, without further ado, let's start this event, This webinar is actually very close to my heart since this is also one of my favorite topics. So, ang title ng ating webinar for today is Speak Up Kabataan, a discussion on freedom of speech and of the press. So, hindi naman lingid sa kaalaman nating lahat na journalists are facing several challenges in today's world. Kahit naman before, be it for authoritarian government or hate online and of course red tagging na talamak pa rin hanggang ngayon. Kahit sa mga campus journalism, they are being silenced or limited to their potential. Nalilimit yung potential nila. That is why this is a crucial issue to be talked tonight. So I hope meron kayong matutunan sa ating resource speaker later. Kasi freedom of speech and freedom of the press is part of our basic rights. So for me, freedom of speech and freedom of free press is the foundation of all freedom. So we must not be silenced. We must not be afraid to speak up when necessary. We have to be fiscalizer and seekers of the truth. Because our journalist is facing real dangers nowadays, and it is uh, our call to protect their rights and to acknowledge their importance in today's society. Kasi sila yung mga nagbibigay sa atin ng information. They are keeping us updated sa mga recent happenings in our country and even globally. So, ayun, hindi ko na pahabain pa. I would like to uh, acknowledge the presence of everyone here tonight. Again, thank you all for attending this webinar and for being with us right now. So I would also like to introduce myself now because I will be your host for tonight's webinar. I am Miss Hanakim Aurelia, or I prefer to be called as Miss Afi. I am the center leader for Humanities, Communication, and Art. Ayun. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our resource speaker at this point. So, she is a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary, major in English Language and Literature, an instructor from the College of Arts and Sciences and Senior High School Department at Our Lady of Fatima University, Valenzuela campus. He is also the editor-in-chief of the CAS Gazette, the official newsletter of College of Arts and Sciences at OLFE Valenzuela, the advisor of English Club, and the founder and advisor of The Green Ink, a senior high school publication at Our Lady of Fatima University. So, without further delays, I would like to call on Miss Kyla Roche Emaas, or our very own Miss K.
Okay. Thank you so much for that very generous and kind introduction by Miss Aki, of course. Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear and see me clearly? Good evening. Ayan. It's such an honor to be invited back as a speaker at Yakal a few months ago. Actually, nagsalita na rin naman ako when it comes to writing naman. Ayan, good evening everyone, and I see a lot of familiar names here. Good evening to everyone. For those of you who don't know me, you may call me Miss K. That's what my students call me. And for those of you who already know me, thank you for coming here. Hindi pa kayo nagsasawa sa mga lecture ni Miss K, no? And this one is not that different. Yung pag-uusapan natin, it's much more in-depth, pero nandun pa rin naman, pasok pa rin naman with what you already know. Especially, I know a lot of you are senior high school students to college students, so this is something that you will definitely know. This is something na very close sa inyo, especially right now. Okay, more importantly, today. Now more than ever. Now, hindi ko na pahabain pa ang ating oras. Let me share my screen with you so we can begin. And I understand na hindi na lang crash course ang gagawin natin kasi last time crash course ang ginawa natin. No? This is still very simple, a very very understandable, ayan, na presentation natin. Wait, give me a sec. Ayan. But, okay. Make it ang ating presentation. Can you see some heart reactions? Okay, good. Ayan. Speak Up Kabataan. This is Press Freedom for the Young and Free, because I can't make it a crash course like what we did last time, no? Ayan. Now, this is something, again, that is important, very poignant sa inyo, sa mga kabataan, kasi ito yung isa sa mga nagiging problem natin or mga naging problem na natin mula pa noon. Now, bago tayo magsimula with our discussion, I'd like to play a very simple game with you. Familiar na rin kayo rito kasi it became a huge fad, a huge trend sa social media, yung real or fake. Are you guys familiar with that? Real or fake? Ayan, i-comment nyo lang sa chat box natin yung mga, ipa-flash ko dito na headlines, whether you think it's real or whether you think it's fake. Okay? Tingnan natin kung gaano kayo kagaling mag-identify ng fake news. Okay. So for the first one, ito ang ating headline. Is this real or is this fake? This is from The Sun. Okay? It's from The Sun. On behalf of domestic abuse survivors, we can now confirm that he is a wife beater. And by he, I think you already know who this is. Diba? This is Johnny Depp. Kung familiar kayo dun sa Depp v. Heard na a case, do you think this is real or this is fake? Am I seeing some answers? Is this legit or not? Tagal mag-isip pa. And meron daw, fake. How about the others? What do you guys think? Don't worry, hindi ko kayo gigradean. Tapos na. Tapos na. Don't worry. Ayaw mo yung fake. Yung, ano nila, no? Yung inisip nila with regards to this. Especially after the bombshell na a case na sobrang publicized a few months ago. I think years na yun, no? But it's still, the memes are still fresh, kung yun nga ang tatawagin. Now, alam niyo naman, when it comes to real and fake, lagi naman tayong merong mga twist dyan. So the twist here is that the headline itself is real. Okay? This is a real headline and nagkaroon ng case dito si Johnny Depp against The Sun, kung saan natalo si Johnny Depp. Okay? Natalo siya sa claim ng The Sun na he was a wife beater. But I think you're thinking about the context. Yung context, is he a wife beater? There are evidence na nagsasuggest that he is not. Diba? But then again, the headline in itself is real. The context legally may be fake. Okay. Let's have the next one. I hope ito mas mabilis yung ma-identify. Real or fake? 40 seaman nagpositibo sa HIV matapos magpa-surprise test. Ang kanilang kumpanya, exposure sa Brazil, posibleng sanhi. This was a headline a few months ago, probably around August or September. I had students kasi na mga seafarers or future seafarers, so this is something na very relevant with them. Do you think this headline is real or fake? Real or fake? Itong news na ito. And I'm sure you guys see a lot of information online. Real or fake? I'm seeing answers already. How about the others? How about the others? Okay, I'm seeing fake with question mark. Hindi sure? Hindi sure? This is actually fake. Okay, this is completely fake. Although nagkaroon ng alarma nga dahil sa ganitong klaseng news, pinapaalala naman ng groups, iba't ibang groups ng seafarers na sobrang higpit ng kanilang medical na pinagdadaanan bago sila sumampa sa barko. So, it's not real na 40 seafarers ang magpa-positive sa HIV out of nowhere. Diba? Fake news, itong headline na ito. Very good. How about this one? Shocking news. Michael Jackson is alive at 65 and is ready to testify against P. Diddy in court. Full details in comments. Ayan. Ako. Ayan, may mga natatawa-tawa na. I think if you know me, no, you'll know that this is fake. Sabi ni Ella, real daw ata. This is fake. Okay, this is fake. Completely fake. Michael Jackson is dead. Okay? Alam ko, madalas nating ginagawang biro ito because, again, conspiracy theorists, diba? But this is completely fake. Okay? He is not Jesus Christ. Walang second coming. Hindi siya babalik. Okay? Alright. And kung tatawagan niya ako na siya pala ay buhay, sasabihin ko agad sa inyo. Okay? This is fake. Next one. Tingnan natin. Noted daw. Tingnan natin kung ma-identify ninyo whether this is real or fake. Philippines VP Duterte threatens Marcos assassination if she is killed. This is from Al Jazeera. Is this real or fake? I think this is probably one of the easiest na ma-identify ninyo. Aside, of course, from Michael Jackson. This is completely real. And naging meme material na nga yung buong interview na yun. It's been weeks already and I can still see some videos circulating na connected doon sa interview na yun, sa video na yun, and with that particular part of the interview. So this is real. Sabi niya, designated survivor daw siya. Ayan, sinabi niya rin, real yung pagkakasabi. Okay, now, for the last one, ito na yung last real or fake natin. Real kaya ang headline na ito, kapag pinakulong yan, si Vice President Sara Duterte, ang patatakbuhin namin si Robin Padilla. Pag si Robin Padilla, game over. Pareho ni Inday Sara, game over din yan. Ito ay sabi ng former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel na si Salvador Panelo. Is this real? Or, sabi ni Ella, sana daw fake. Unfortunately, this is completely real. Okay, this is completely real. This is from a few days ago. Okay, a few days ago lamang ang news na ito. And sana daw fake na lang. No, but this is completely true. Okay? So you can see here, sometimes depende doon sa pagiging vulgar o sa pagiging unbelievable ng mga headline na nababasa natin. Sometimes we think it's real and sometimes we hope that it's fake. But the difference between those two, sometimes sobrang nipis lang. There are certain technicalities na tinatawag. Okay? Para daw malaman natin kung ano nga bang real or fake. But this is something that we try to battle every day. Diba? Yung pag-alam whether something is real or fake. And syempre, our reality, the reality that we are living now and the freedom that we have, whether we're going to accept these kinds of news or not. And while we're talking about such matter, diba, it's important for us to remember this quote by Felix Frankfurter that without a free press, there can be no free society. Kasi papasok dyan yung conversation natin. And this is something that I want you, of course, to remember throughout the entirety of our discussion. And of course, with how you see yung press na meron tayo, yung freedom na meron tayo in the society that we have. Ano yung importance ng press? Ano yung importance ng speech? Ano yung importance ng reliable na news when it comes to how we are living right now. Okay? Now, since ang focus natin is with you speaking up, of course, we need to go back doon sa basics na tinatawag natin. No? Let's try to identify what freedom and press is, its evolution and milestones, ano yung mga threats na kinakaharap natin right now, the importance of press freedom, and of course, your role as youth to press freedom. And of course, freedom of speech. Since, ayun nga sa title nga natin, kung babalikan natin dito, ayan, you need to speak up. This is press freedom for the young and free. Now, let's identify nga itong dalawa na ito, freedom and press. And press and freedom. Now, press, as you can see here, ito yung ginagamit natin na medium. Okay, or any kind of media that we can use in order to broadcast information. And funnily enough, press also means, I mean yung word na press, it also means to put pressure on something, to try hard to persuade someone to do something, and even complain about someone whenever you're pressing charges, you know. These meaning, hindi sila similar sa isa't isa, but when you try to contextualize what it means to press freedom and freedom of speech, it would be more interesting. Now, freedom, on the other hand, this is according to Cambridge, it is the condition or the right of being able or allowed to do whatever you want to without being controlled or limited. It just means that there is no restriction. Okay? And kahit na ganito, yung ibig sabihin ng freedom, it's important for us to know that in a modern, in a civilized world, especially in a society like what we have here, this cannot happen all the time. Okay? Yung sinasabi natin dito, yung doing whatever you want without being controlled or limited, because that is what freedom is, vaguely. Okay? However, Barry Schwartz popularized the concept of paradox of choice. Okay? The paradox of choice suggests that having too much freedom, or having too much choices rather, actually limits our freedom. Okay? I don't know kung na-discuss yun na yan before, yung paradox of choice. Now, a lot of philosophers, including of course Schwartz, believe that there's such thing as too much freedom due to the concept of decision paralysis. Okay? This is something that I also learned from one of the smartest person that I know, or one of the smartest people that I know. Okay? That there is such thing as too much freedom. Kasi daw, learning to choose is hard enough, but learning to choose well is harder. Okay? I've mentioned this, the paradox of choice, and of course the decision paralysis. I've mentioned this because I want you to remember that concept when we talk about free press, its evolution, and its future. Okay? Now let's talk about freedom of speech. Okay, freedom of speech is the right to express your opinions without government restraint. Okay, so yun din yun. There's no restriction for you to express your opinions, pero ito, connected na yung government natin. This is according to history.com. Now, the etymology for the freedom of speech or the free press ay magdi-date back to the ancient Greece. Syempre. Okay, one of the oldest civilizations that we have. Ang etymology niyan ay nagmula pa, this was probably dating back 5th century BC. Ang word na parisha, it means free speech. Okay, free speech or to speak candidly. Now, because of the idea of parisha, itong democratic principle na ito, a lot of leaders, a lot of artists, and philosophers, and normal Athenians, yung mga Greeks, during the classical period, during that time, they were free to discuss about politics, they were free to discuss about religion, and they were free to criticize the government in certain settings. Again, there are settings that they consider in order to speak candidly para ma-practice yung parisha. Now, this was during the ancient Greeks. Now, are you familiar with this? This is not the Ten Commandments, by the way. Hindi to ang Ten Commandments. Are you familiar with this? I don't know kung nababasa nyo ito, no? But this is, I don't know if I can pronounce it correctly. It's been quite some time. This is La Déclaration des droits de l'homme du citoyen. It means the declaration of the rights of man and of the citizen. Okay? So, this is obviously French, and this is dating 1700, 1789 in particular. Anyone knows kung ano yung era natin during 1789? Tingnan nga natin kung naaalala nyo yung history ninyo. What happened in 1789? During dito sa ano na ito? Sa bansang ito. This is the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen was adopted kailan? What's happening in 1789? Let's see. Anyone? Mga history buff natin dyan? Ako, okay, very good. Ayan si Ella. This was during the French Revolution. Okay? I see, ayan, si Aki din pala na, nahabol. This was during the French Revolution, and the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen became the basis for the Bill of Rights in different countries. Okay? So, in total, this has 17 articles, one of which affirm the freedom of speech as a right for everyone. Okay? This is very important. Ito yung translation ng 11th article ng Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. So if you're familiar with our own constitution, this is very similar. Kasi nga, ito yung pinagkunan or pinagbasihan ng napakaraming mga Bill of Rights and Constitution in different countries. So, sa Article 11 ng Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, sinabi dyan that the free communication of ideas and opinions is one of the most precious of the rights of man. Every citizen may accordingly speak, write, and print with freedom, but shall be responsible for such abuses of this freedom as shall be defined by law. Mababalikan natin yung idea na yan mamaya. Okay? This just means that every one of us has the right to share our thoughts and our opinions freely in any type of medium. But we can never misuse this freedom. Okay? Especially in ways that can harm others. And if we do, we should be accountable for it by law. Okay? Katulad ng sinabi natin kanina, our freedom has a limitation for it to be just. Okay? Yun yung sinasabi natin na meron tayong limitation even with the freedom that we are experiencing. Now, during around this time then, a few years later, this was in 1789. Now, in 1791, ang unang 10 amendments ng Bill of Rights in the US ay naipasa rin. Ayan, this was taken mula sa White House mismo, or sa page ng White House. So, ano yung ine-emphasize dito? Specifically, the First Amendment. Yun kasi yung laging sinasabi. Ano to, kung nakakarinig kayo ng mga videos or nakakita kayo ng videos and palagi nilang sinasabi, I am practicing my my rights from the second, or the First Amendment rather. Kasi yung second, yung rights to possess arms, diba? Now, the first amendment is with regards sa freedom of speech. Okay? Ano pa yung sinasabi dito na freedom? Yung mga na-discuss nyo rin. Especially kahapon. You have the freedom of religion, of press, of speech, of assembly, and of petition. Okay, so ito yung First Amendment natin. And then the other 9 is in connection with the rest sa context ng USA. Okay, so this was their Bill of Rights. In the Philippines, on the other hand, we had the 1987 Constitution. And sa 1987 Constitution, kung sa US, they had the First Amendment. Tayo naman, we have the Article 3, Section 4. I don't know kung makita nyo dyan. This is taken from the Official Gazette. You can visit their page. Ayan, according to Article 3, Section 4, it states that no law, sana makita ko to, no law can be passed to limit freedom of speech, expression, or the press. Okay, ginagaranti rin ng Constitution natin na magkaroon din ng mga unions, associations, or even societies for purposes na hindi against the law. And because of Article 3, Section 4, meron tayong yakal in the first place. Kaya meron kayong soksay.org, meron kayong TGI, at meron kayong iba't ibang mga community that you belong to. Kasi meron tayo nito, protektado kayo ng ng ating bata. So ito nga, yung Section 4. Okay? Now, on a global scale, babalik tayo a few years back in 1948. That was in December, I believe. In December 1948, nagtipon-tipon ang iba't ibang mga delegates sa Paris to proclaim the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay, ang Universal Declaration of Human Rights, ito na yung modern basis ng iba't ibang mga laws na meron tayo in consideration of the rights that we have as people, yung human rights na tinatawag natin. Now, sa Article 19, sinasabi dyan that everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and of expression. And ang right na ito ay nag-i-include ng freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, to receive, and impart information and ideas through any media. And regardless kung ano yung frontiers na meron tayo dito. Okay? So, this is a huge milestone for the freedom that we have in expressing our opinions, considering kung ano yung naranasan natin before. And if I may share, 2 people, okay, 2 champions of press freedom natin, kasi hindi natin may isa-isa ng sobrang dami yan. Baka abutin tayo ng 12:00 dito, no? I want to focus on 2 people. Okay? The first one Please tell me kung ma-identify ninyo kung sino ito. Yung una, the father of Philippine journalism. Ito, meron na kayong clue. Kasi for some reason, a lot of my students can't identify who this person is. Who is the father of Philippine journalism? Okay, very good. Ayan. It is Marcelo del Pilar. Okay, ang pen name nito ni Marcelo del Pilar ay Plaridel. This is part of your literature curriculum. So hopefully, alam nyo yan. Okay, and just a fun fact, every August 30, we celebrate National Press Freedom Day in celebration of the life of the father of Philippine journalism, si Marcelo del Pilar. Okay, isa siya sa mga Freemason, kasama niya si Rizal at si Graciano Lopez Haina, na naging leaders ng reform movement sa Spain. Ayan. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Medyo rusty na yung history ko kasi. Ayan. So that's Marcelo del Pilar. The second one, I think ma-identify ninyo, who is this Nobel Peace Prize winner? Nanalo siya noong 2021. This is, okay, very good. This is Maria Ressa. Siya din ang co-founder and CEO of Rappler. And, ayan nga, ang main goal niya nga raw, ang reason kung bakit siya nanalo ng Nobel Peace Prize is because of her work to protect freedom of expression, especially during the Duterte administration. Okay? Now, speaking of which, okay, maraming naranasan na panggigipit si Maria Ressa, among others, okay, because of her advocacy when it comes to freedom of speech and of course when it comes to the freedom of press or press freedom na tinatawag natin. Ano-ano nga ba yung mga threats na yan? Of course, number one dyan, yung misinformation and disinformation. Okay? Na-undermine kasi nito yung credibility ng press mismo. I don't know kung naabutan nyo yung mga times na kapag merong balita, regardless kung ano yung media outlet na yan, sasabihin fake news. Kapag hindi nagustuhan yung headline, fake news. Kapag hindi pabor sa kanila, sasabihin fake news ng fake news. And kapag naman gusto nila yung partido, gusto nila yung balita, maniniwala na lang sila. So, the distortion of the information and the public understanding at yung pagkawala ng trust sa media, especially doon sa mga reliable na media, this is the first problem that we have. Okay, this is the threat. It was actually supposed to be a challenge, but it's not a challenge anymore. It's a threat. Diba? Kung magtutuloy-tuloy, anong mangyayari sa atin? A few years ago, naging problema natin yan. And again, nanalo na naman ang kampon ng kadiliman versus kampon ng kasamaan, 'di ba? So yan yung unang threat natin. The second one is censorship. This is something that I really I really find the most problem with. Okay, the censorship and the control. Ako kasi as someone who is inclined with literature, naniniwala ang literary community that there is no censorship in art, especially in writing, diba? But that was back then. Okay? Now, this is a problem, yung suppression, yung repression, the restriction that we have, yung alter ng information, ng ideas, the way that we express, and the way that we object with certain entities, is a huge problem. Dito rin papasok, I don't know kung makakategorize din natin dito yung cancel culture, no? Kasi we're trying to censor. You know, right now, ano example natin dito, not necessarily with press, pero yung pag-censor ng term na killed or died at ginagawang unalive, yung mga ganong klaseng censorship, no? Kasi nga, nag-valid daw ng community standards. Diba? Yung mga euphemism daw. Diba? Exactly. To this day, nadadagdagan yung mga euphemism na meron tayo because again, we don't want to be canceled. And this is the problem. We don't want to do something or ayaw nating i-consider yung mga certain na bagay na gawin natin or sabihin natin. Kasi sasabihin, ayoko, baka makancel ako. Diba? That's part of the censorship. And control. Ang kasunod niyang control na yan is of course propaganda. This has been used ng in history in order to take control of the narrative, especially ng mga tyrant. Kawawa dito syempre yung mga independent sources of information na meron tayo kasi nare-restrict talaga yung freedom of expression. And again, this was used historically by different dictators, by different tyrants. Katulad na lang yun, syempre, ang number one sample natin yan, si Hitler. Diba? If you're familiar with Gaddafi na dictator ng Libya, syempre, si Marcos Sr. during his regime. If you're familiar with Fidel Castro, ayan, he's a Cuban leader. Fidel Castro, the reason why I'm familiar with him kasi siya ay BFF ni Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Okay? At ginamit ni Fidel Castro ang popularity ni Gabriel Garcia Marquez para makontrol yung media or yung image niya within the public. But ironically, si Gabriel Garcia Marquez, siya ay na-exile mula sa Colombia, sa kanyang bansa. Actually, self-exile yun. Kasi nga, taliwas sa paniniwala ni Gabriel Garcia Marquez yung gobyerno niya. Kumbaga, tinutuligsa rin niya ang kanyang gobyerno kasi nga daw, it's too oppressive. But he is besties with Fidel Castro. Siyempre, we had the Duterte administration, si Idi Amin, isa sa deadliest na leaders in Uganda. And siyempre, kilalang-kilala ninyo si Stalin, si Joseph Stalin from the Soviet Union. He controlled the media, repressed people. And siyempre, isa sa number one na naging tool ni Stalin para maging successful is the manipulation of truth. Okay? So ito, napakalaking tool na ginagamit. Ang sabi nga, kapag hindi naging maayos yung pag-handle natin in sharing information in the way that people understand, kung ano yung mga gusto natin iparating, kung ano yung sinishare natin, it would be the end for some of us or for a lot of us. At doon na papasok yung red tagging. Okay? Ang red tagging, syempre alam nyo na yan, no? Yung paniniwala na ang mga tao naniniwala sa ganito-ganyan ay sympathizers daw or komunista, kaya tinawag na red tagging, no? At involved sa kung anong mga illegal na activities just because of the things that they believe in or just because of the things that they think na pinaniwalaan ng mga taong ito. So, dahil dyan, nagkakaroon ng mga harassment, intimidation, there are different attacks sa iba't ibang mga media outlets. Nakikita natin yan every year, especially during the election season. Okay? Anong example dyan? So, yung ABS-CBN and even Rappler, ayan, red tag, matagal na. Okay? Ng ilang mga government officials. So, medyo nagkaroon ng risk when it comes to safety. And kapag may red tagging, of course, mayroong mga cyber attacks and harassment. Okay? So, yung mga trolling, yung mga threats, different campaigns na dinidiscredit itong mga outlets na ito. Ayan. And ang sabi ni Sir James, no? Ayan, one of the perpetrators would be, ayan nga, si Redacted. Kasi Redacted and SMNI. And, ayun, ang Rappler, during my time, marami talaga ang naniniwala na puro fake news lang ang sinishare ng Rappler. Bakit? Kasi yun yung sinasabi sa mainstream media na huwag yung gamitin ang Rappler as your source of information. This is, by the way, real. Okay? Nung ako ay nag-aaral, sinabi sa amin ito, na kung kukuha kayo ng information, huwag kayong kumuha sa Rappler kasi fake news yung mga yan. So for years, I thought that Rappler was indeed sharing fake news. hanggang sa ako mismo ay nag-start na rin na mag-fact check for myself. 'Di ba? So, for a young mind, for a young person na mabigyan ng ganong klaseng idea, sobrang damaging. Okay, not only for the organization, but of course, for the people na naniniwala. Okay? So, ayan. Yun nga yung reason kung bakit nagkaroon ng libel, cyber libel, di ba, against Maria Ressa. So, napakahaba ng problema natin. Mag-date back tayo sa mga ampatuan. And kaya naman sinasabi na ang Pilipinas daw ay isa sa pinaka dangerous na place for journalists. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this. I would like to give credit, of course, to Sir James No dito sa information na ito. We have a World Press Freedom Index. This is for 2024. So, the organization Reporters Without Borders, they study yung ability ng mga journalists as individuals and collectively as a group, kung gaano ka protektado or kung gaano ka dangerous na mabuhay. Okay, sa certain na countries na meron tayo rito. So they have this index. So tinitignan dito yung pag-produce at pag-disseminate ng kanilang news. Okay, in consideration of the public interest. At syempre, yung political, economic, legal, and social interferences. At yung absence or existence ng threats sa safety ng mga journalists natin. So as you can see here, I hope nakikita ninyo, no, kahit medyo maliit, ang Philippines ay number 134 out of 180 countries. Okay? Bumaba pa tayo. Last year, 132. Ngayong taon, 134 na. And as you can see here, dito sa kanan, sa may gilid, nandito naman ang Norway. Number 1 ang Norway. Wait, let me share you the actual tab para mas malinaw. Tingnan natin kung ma-share ko sa inyo. Hindi ko ata ma-share. Ito. Para makita ninyo actively yung ano natin. Okay, so ito ang index natin na nagagalaw. So yung mga kulay dito, sinisignify niyan yung score. Okay, so syempre pag green flag, ibig sabihin nun medyo mataas doon sa index or mataas yung score nila. Okay, at syempre kapag red flag, literal na red flag. Okay, so ang number 1 natin dyan ay Norway with 91.89% na score. Sila ay number 1 when it comes to the political aspect, number 1 din sa economic, and so on and so forth. Okay? At ito yung top 10 natin. Kung mapapansin niyo karamihan dyan ay mga European countries. Diba? Yung mga tahimik talaga na mga bansa. And kung titingnan naman natin, ang nasa dulo, yung mga red flag, ang number 1 dyan is an African country called Eritrea. I think mahanap natin Eritrea dito. No? Sana lang tama yung geographical skills ko. Ito ata. Ayan, yung Eritrea. Number 180. Ang kasama nila dyan sa bottom 10 ay Syria, Afghanistan, North Korea. Okay? Number 177 pang North Korea. Just imagine kung ano ang situation sa Eritrea. If North Korea is number 177, 176 is Iran, and then we have Turkmenistan, we have Vietnam at 174, Bahrain 173, China at 172, Myanmar sa 171, and Egypt for 170. So ito yung bottom 10 natin compared with our top 10. And hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na Pinoy pride kasi ano tayo nasa may bandang bottom tayo ng natin, nasa may latak tayo. Ayan. This is a huge problem, of course, para sa atin considering, 'di ba, na marami ang nagsasabi na yung mga kabataan, yung mga ano ngayon, sobrang woke na. How woke are we really? Kasi in reality, eto yung isinasabuhay natin. This is the reality that we have. And maybe you're wondering, Miski, paano naman nila nalaman yan? Real ba yan? Baka take lang yan. Diba? Now, balik tayo sa ating presentation. Ayan. So, kung titignan natin yung naging basis nila, ito daw, yung basis, di ba? Yung mga points na tinatawag natin. So, mga green flag, 85 to 100 points. And yung mga 0 to 40 points, yun yung mga red flag. So, nandito tayo sa difficult na line. Nasa dark orange tayo. Okay? Hindi na tayo sa problematic. Iniisip natin, Pilipinas sobrang problematic. But in reality, we're in a difficult and dark stage already. Okay? So the main purpose of this is to compare the level of freedom na na-enjoy ng mga journalists at ng media out of 180 territories and countries. So as a background, ang Philippines nga, yung sinasabi dyan, na sobrang dynamic daw ng media natin. Kahit na targeted yung mga attacks towards our media. Okay? And sa ating journalists. And yan nga daw ay mas lumala pa, mas naging critical pa during the reign or the administration of Rodrigo Duterte. So ayan, last year 132 and this year 134. Okay? When it comes to the political indicator, pang 128 tayo. Sa economic, 126. Legislative, 130th. Sa social, 122nd. And sa security, 132nd. So, ayun yung mga score natin. 36, 37, 47, 51, and 44. So, below average tayo. Diba? Magaling daw tayo sa mga beauty contests at sa pagpili ng mga mahuhusay natin ng mga singers. Kaso lang, we can't do anything with the threats that we are facing right now. And we can't do anything with the score that we have sa political indicator natin. Because again, it's a huge problem. Diba? Now, this image is the indicator naman ng incidents and attacks and threats sa ating media. This was actually released in May 2024 by the PCIJ or yung Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism. And ipinapakita rito yung mga incidents ng attacks or mga threats na meron tayo. Ito mula July 2022 to April 2024, there are 135 incidents of attacks and threats. Okay, there are a total of 3 killings, 75 intimidation, 15 cyber attacks, 14 assault and harassment, 8 cyber libel and death threats, 7 censorship, 5 arrests, and 1 shooting incident. And most of them happened in Metro Manila. To think, diba, na sobrang modernized natin. And this is our actual reality. Okay, at meron pa yan sa mga susunod na buwan. Hintayin lang natin na dumating. You can visit their page, ay yung PCIJ. Isa yan sa mga leading na investigative journalism websites and organization that we have here in the Philippines. Now, napaka-importante ng press freedom. Base sa nakita natin, nakakatakot. Diba? Nakakatakot mag-voice out ng ating opinion. Nakakatakot na magsalita. But, why is it important? Bakit natin hinahanap to? Bakit natin gustong makamit, kumbaga, ang press freedom? Because number 1, it holds the powerful accountable. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Yung mga malalaking corporations, governments, and different powerful entities, they are held accountable. if we investigate, if we expose corruption, abuse of power, and yung mga maling bagay na ginagawa nila. Di ba tinatawag ang mga journalists, they are called watchdogs. Bakit? Sila yung nagme-make sure na tayo ay ligtas. Nasaan dito yung masasamang tao based on the evidence that we have. We don't just attack. Ayan yung sinasabi, watchdogs, they don't just attack. They observe first. Napaka-importante nun. Okay? And they, most importantly, ensure that public officials and different institutions will serve the public interest. Napaka-importante niya. The second one is that press freedom upholds democracy. Ang sabi nga ni Walter Cronkite, freedom of the press is not just important to democracy. It is democracy. It's another phase of democracy. Diba? Kung meron tayong kalayaan to hold people accountable and to expose the truth. The third one is that it fosters social change. Bakit? Kapag nakapag-raise tayo ng awareness when it comes to societal issues, I'm sure a lot of you have been inspired by the people right here sa meeting din natin. Of course, very important na shoutout ito no, sa co-founders ng Yakal, yan si Sir Alec and si Sir James. At syempre, sa mga members ng Yakal Pilipinas, you guys are the catalysts for social change, yung mga movement na ito. Ayan. And it encourages different reforms na tinatawag natin, ng mga maliliit pero importanteng pagbabago. Yung mga positive change na tinatawag natin within our society. And the fact that you are here, the fact that you are trying to learn about this, is helpful already. Okay, babalikan natin yan sa may dulo. Next, it encourages freedom of speech, of course. Diba? Kapag meron tayong press freedom na uphold natin, yung Article 3 ng ating Constitution, it allows you to express yung opinions and ideas ninyo, ensuring na walang single narrative na nagdo-dominate sa public discourse that we have. Okay? Hindi porket gusto nating sabihin ang katotohanan, hindi na natin nahayaan na ipakita yung version ng iba, or not necessarily the version, but the understanding of other people. Diba? Sinasabi nila, speak your truth, speak your truth. But ako personally, I believe that there's only one objective truth. We just have different perspective about how we see and experience such truths. Okay? So, ayan. Ayan ang in-encourage natin. Yung pag-entertain sa iba't ibang narratives and pag-digest, pag-intindi, at pag-weigh, pag-balance ng mga narratives na yun. Dito na papasok yung tinatawag natin na diversity of thought. This is very important. This is essential for our society and for a society that wants to engage in critical thinking. Okay? Wants to engage in discourse and debate. Kung hindi ninyo ma-rationalize yung mga bagay-bagay, then you should probably think and consider kung ano yung mga pinaniniwalaan ninyo. Okay? The next one is it promotes human rights. Siyempre, ito nga, kaya nga si Maria Ressa ay nanalo ng Nobel Peace Prize dahil ito, yung hina-highlight, yung human rights natin, no? At yung pag-expose sa mga violations ng human rights, different injustices, and raising awareness within the public and putting pressure sa mga taong accountable. Again, babalik tayo dun sa una, sa number 1 natin. No? And different institutions in order to uphold yung dignity natin and yung basic freedom that we all deserve and that are rightfully ours. And syempre, most importantly, it empowers you as citizens into participation and discourse. Okay? This is something that I learned from the co-founders of Yakal. I think pares na sila nandito, no? Si Sir James and si Sir Alec. This is something that I learned from them, how important discourse is in sharing relevant information. I've seen them do this in person, and it amazes me. Okay? Napaka-importante ng discourse in fighting disinformation. And discourses like this, itong isang buong linggo na ito, yung celebration ninyo ng Human Rights Week natin. Okay? By giving these people, yung audiences natin tonight, and yung mga nanonood sa atin online, by giving them access to diverse information that again, they will use in critical thinking, in enabling them to participate fully in our society. Okay? And when the media is free, citizens are more likely to engage in different kind of discussions if they don't feel like they're not going to be canceled for their ideas, 'di ba? And their advocacies, and syempre yung mga action na ginagawa nila on certain issues that we have in politics and in our society. So this in itself is the reason kung bakit meron tayong mga events na ito, nitong mga nakaraang araw, no? This is the root cause, kumbaga, na tinatawag natin. Yung empowerment natin to participate into different discourses like these. Kaya naman, alamin natin kung ano yung magagawa ninyo as citizens, as youth. Kasi sasabihin, di ba, kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. Pero wala namang kaming magawa. Hindi naman kinoconsider ang aming mga boses. That's not true. The fact that you are here, the fact that you're listening here, the fact that you're able to speak your mind, kahit dito sa maliit na space na ito, pinapractice natin yung freedom of speech. Okay? And yung press freedom na tinatawag natin. It is your responsibility as a citizen, as journalists, as future professionals, and of course, as scholars, to promote freedom of speech and press freedom properly. Okay? Now, your relationship as youth and the press, ano ba yung magagawa natin? And of course, the freedom of speech. Miss Kay, ano magagawa namin? Wala naman kaming pera for that. Okay? You can do or you should do what you can. The first one is yung advocacy na meron kayo. The fact that you are advocating for press freedom or for anything that you believe in actually. And yung media literacy na tinatawag natin, napaka-importante through these discussions, through workshops that we have, through different campaigns, you as young people can share kung ano man yung mga natututunan ninyo with your peers in assessing critically kung ano yung klase ng media na kinukonsume ninyo. Yung para sa mga critically online dyan, I'm sure a lot of you are critically online. 'Di ba? Alin dyan yung mga dapat ninyong paniwalaan, alin dyan yung mga dapat ninyong kinukonsume, at alin dyan yung kinakailangan ninyong i-let go na. 'Di ba? Mapapansin nyo agad if someone is critically online, kung paano sila magsalita, how they understand certain things, how their humor works. Okay? Yes, exactly. Sabi ni Ella, diba? Don't do mindless strolling and scrolling na mag-scroll lang kayo para lang makakita ng mga memes, ng mga nakakatawang videos, na makita lang yung recycled video ni VP Sara na kung ano-ano yung mga pinagsasabi just in different contexts na obviously nakakatawa naman, but what more can we do with this kind of platform? Diba? At doon na nga natin may papasok itong pangalawa, embracing social media, yung platform na meron kayo, and amplifying voices, especially those ng mga hindi kayang lakasan yung boses nila. Ang sabi nga ni Voltaire, ayan, we can disapprove of what others may say, but we shall defend their right to say it. Hindi lahat ng bagay na sinasabi ng mga tao, including you, ay tama. Okay? But yung responsibility natin na ipaglaban, na magkaroon ng chance ang bawat isa sa atin na makapagsalita, that is something na kinakailangan natin. At kinakailangan natin dyan yung mga reliable media platforms na meron tayo. Okay? Because with the platform that you have, kinakailangan nyo yung gamitin responsibly. In what way? You should seek truth, justice, and again, accountability. Yan yung tatlo na kinakailangan yung isaalang-alang when it comes to using your platform responsibly. Okay? And syempre, sa mga platform natin, dahil nga tayo ay nakaka-connect with different people all around the globe, it's important for us to remember this is a quote from a previous star in SNL. Her name is Leslie Jones. And sabi niya, hate speech and freedom of speech is two different things. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Kailangan yung kontrolin ng sarili ninyo. Again, we should find justice and fairness. Very important yan. Okay? In using your platform. Hindi lang puro memes, hindi puro pambabash ang ginagawa, 'di ba? Hindi porket ayaw natin doon sa personality na 'yon, puro negative na lang ang sasabihin o ang iisipin natin. Kailangan nating mag-isip critically. Okay? Kung gusto nyo rin na maging part ng press in the future, alalahanin nyo yan. Okay? Hindi porket meron kayong differences sa paniniwala from other people, hindi nyo na i-consider kung ano yung sasabihin nila. Or hindi nyo na i-consider yung mga bagay na ginagawa nila. The last one is, of course, the creation, support, and your participation in relevant media platforms and projects just like Yakal. Diba? Yung advocacy na meron kayo, yung activism that you have, especially when it comes to education and educating other people, the creation of organization like this, yung support ninyo not only for journalists with this topic, but with the rest of other communities is important. So, ayan nga. Okay? Aside from, of course, looking for reliable information when it comes to the content na inaano ninyo, dinadigest ninyo, you should also be active in things like this, yung Yakal. Diba? And I'm very lucky na makita kung paano nag-grow yung Yakal, no, from the ground up, kung paano kayo hirap at ano yung mga effort na ginawa ninyo just to make this as it is. And I can't wait to see more from you. Diba? And syempre, magkakaroon tayo ng konting promotion din. Napakarami nating mga different organization when it comes to journalism, international and local. Pero there's nothing wrong in starting small. Okay, yung mga campus journalism team ninyo, if you want to learn more about writing, if you want to learn more about the press and journalism, then maybe you should join your own. And kanina, na-mention din naman, di ba, na I am the advisor for the Green Ink. So this is the official press for Olfu Senior High School in Valenzuela. Okay, this is the first and only sa senior high school kasi wala pa sila nito. And I think yung ibang editorial board natin ay nandito, no? At syempre yung editor-in-chief natin nandito, si Miss Aki. Ayan, si Hannah Kim Aurelia, ang ating editor-in-chief for the Green Ink. And katulad ito na lang, yung TGI na lang yung gagawin kong example para mas localized, no? We have different platform, or we have a platform for different ideas coming from diverse perspectives. Katulad na lang ito, this is one of our features. This is a Yakal interview. In-interview ang isa sa mga members ninyo, of course, si Lim, yan si John Denrick Lim, na ano din natin, columnist din natin sa TGI. Ayan. I think this was written by Alia Mantilla, no? Isa sa mga feature writers natin. We also have a different literary naman na approach in sharing ideas. This was written by our assistant editor. Ayan, si Lay Antonio. This is a letter to Skypic. This is amazing. I suggest you guys read this. The entirety of this literary work. Napakahusay, napakaganda ng pagkakasulat na ito. No bias ha. Wala tayong bias dito. But this is amazing. One of my particularly favorite reads during the time na nabasa ko ito. Ayan. And syempre, meron din tayong mga editorial na articles. This is about exam week. This was written by our editor-in-chief, ayan, si Hannah Kim Aurelia, noong panahon ng mga exam. No? We have several. Meron din tayong news dyan, actually, sa TGI. We also have news there. But this is one of the things na I always look forward kasi nakikita dito talaga yung creativity. Pero siguro may bias ako dito kasi ako, I used to be a feature and literary writer before I became an editor nung ako ay nag-aaral pa. No? So this is one of the most enjoyable things na babasahin at gagawin nyo rin. 'Di ba? Kung kino-consider niyo, baka sabihin niyo, miski hindi kasi ako ganun kagaling sa pagsusulat ng news. Ganun din naman ako. To be honest. Ganun din naman ako, but there are different ways for us. Meron tayong iba't ibang platform na tinatawag. May iba't iba tayong approach in writing. At kung kinakailangan ninyo na practice, so ayan, magpa-promote na rin ako kasi we had this workshop. Okay, yung Ink journalism workshop natin noong starting August until November. And ito good news kasi sa mga susunod na buwan, sa susunod na SEM, magkakaroon pa naman ng mga yan. Okay, naka-ready na, magko-contact na lang tayo talaga ng mga personalidad. Actually, na-invite namin dito, I'm sure you're familiar with Prof. Mark Madrona. Twice namin siya naging speaker. One for opinion and editorial writing, and another one for campus journalism. So if you want to know more about that, in particular, yung campus journalism, I suggest na contact TGI para ma-share nila yung workshop na yun by Prof. Mark Madrona kasi sobrang husay, sobrang fruitful at napakaraming information na makukuha if you want to learn more. Kaya hindi ko na masyadong binigyan ng coverage yung mga discuss ni Sir Mark Madrona because I want those information coming from him na manggaling talaga sa kanya kapag pinanood niyo na. We also had our photojournalism speaker. Ayan, si Sir John Rexon Calay, ang isa sa mga producer and official photographers ng News 5, sa TV5. Ayan. And we had more speakers, local, yung mga teachers, mga instructors din natin. In Olfu, we had one from UST, ayan, and a lot more. Okay, and hopefully we can have more. So, I just want you guys to remember that if you decide to be a part of something, you have a responsibility. Okay? And every action has consequences. Yun ang tatandaan nyo. Every action has consequences, even those you think are right. Kasi inisip natin, pag sinabing consequences, these are only for the decisions or the mistakes that we make. But no. Every action has consequences, even if you think that those action or these actions are correct. It is your responsibility to promote the philosophies that you believe in and doing it properly. Okay. I want you to remember that you can't half-ass a commitment. You need to go all out. So, again, if you decide to be part of something, you have a responsibility to do them well. Okay? Nasabi nga ni Albert Hubbard, responsibility is the price of freedom. So if you want freedom, you have a responsibility to make sure na makukuha niyo yun. And I hope that you find yourself accountable of the responsibilities that you decided to sign up for. You are responsible for the freedom of your future. Okay? Understood, my dears? I hope that is clear, no? And I think you guys know that when we have our quote of the night, this is our second quote, or probably our fifth or sixth quote of the night, I think it signals that you have the stage. Okay, it's time for a forum. Eh, pasensya kung medyo natagalan tayo. No? So if you want to voice out some questions, opinions, ideas, if you have some clarifications or any violent reactions, I think this is the best time for you to do so. And I think Aki or Miss Aki can take over, no? Aki?
Ayan, good evening. Thank you, Ms. K, for that comprehensive and insightful discussion. Gusto ko yung may pa-statistics pa and very, very detailed. I love the discussion and I enjoyed it tonight. So I hope that our attendees also enjoyed the discussion and they learned something. Kasi nga, di ba po, just like we said kanina, this is a very important topic. So, yung mga may questions here, please don't hesitate to ask. You may raise your hand and you may also comment sa ating chat box. So, may tanong ba kayo? Don't hesitate to speak up. Nasa title din natin yan. Speak up. So, if you have any questions, go lang. Miss K will answer it.
Yes. And I think we should give them a few minutes, no? Baka nag-iisip pa sila ng mga ano. Ayan, si Sir James, may question after.
Ayan. So, meron tayong question from Sir James. Ang sabi niya po is, what are the ideal qualities po ng journalist?
Okay, that's a good question, no? Isa yan sa mga na na-cover din nung mga nung discussion natin with inks with the journalism workshop. But one of the things that we really need to remember, kasi madalas natin dyan yung pagiging passionate, yung pagiging talented, pero wala lahat yan if you can't think critically. That's number one. Okay? I remember one of my favorite teachers, Sir Mark Acuña, on our first day of class in creative writing, ang sabi niya sa amin, bago ka maging mabait, maging magaling ka muna. But I believe na bago ka maging magaling, dapat alam mo muna yung basics and you can actually process the information na kinakain ninyo at madadigest nyo yan. So number one is to think critically. The second one is creativity. Paano ninyo maipaparating yung message ninyo while still being protected? Because in reality, hindi naman, again, hindi ganun ka-safe. Ang spaces na meron tayo for journalists, no? Hindi tayo magpapaka-plastic dito and saying na sa TGI lahat ay talagang naisusulat natin. Well, we get away with it. Okay? Ganun din naman sa real world. Meron tayong tinatawag na corporate language or professional language is what I want to call it, no? Yung professional na language na meron tayo. Hindi, gulat ako, sorry. Ayan. Hindi natin madadaan sa basta matatas na language, mga highfalutin words, hindi natin madadaan dyan yung pag-share natin ng information. Kasi most of the time, the people that we want to reach ay hindi sila ganon ka-familiar with the highfalutin words na gusto nating ipakita just to prove our credibility. Marami nag-iisip nun. Gusto ko maging magaling na writer, dapat alam ko yung mga words na ito, mga highfalutin words. But that's not the point of writing. The point of writing is for the message to be understood. By who? By the general public. And the general public will not have the same vocabulary as you. Yun yung reality na meron tayo. And as teacher, isa rin yan sa mga bagay na napatunayan ko. Okay? Na hindi matututo ang isang bata kung gagamitan mo sila ng mga bagay or mga words na hindi nila naiintindihan. You need to explain ideas. You need to explain concepts that people will understand para yung mas malalim na konsepto ay maintindihan nga nila. And it's a talent. Yun yung sinasabi, it's a talent. Pero this is something that you can learn. Just look at Bob Ong. Okay? Napakaraming mga discuss na issues ni Bob Ong sa kanyang mga libro without making it seem na parang sinasampal niya tayo ng katotohanan. Diba? Ito yung mga tinatawag na masyadong cringe-worthy. Ako meron akong mga ganyan minsan. Na maganda yung pagkakasulat, kaso lang medyo cringe-worthy. Bakit? Kasi it's too in your face. Ayan. Yun nga, yung pagiging creative. Ang other term ko dyan, dapat magaling kang manguto. And by manguto, we mean na dapat matrick mo yung readers mo na basahin ng buo yung article mo or yung isinulat mo. Kasi hindi lahat ng tao ay merong capacity na magbasa ng mahabang articles. Okay? Dahil nga, again, sa rise ng iba't ibang social media platforms natin like TikTok, yung mga reels na yan, umiiksi yung yung attention span. So, yan pa. Okay? It's a talent. Ano pa ba? And syempre, very important, reliable. Reliable, merong responsibility, at most importantly, merong credibility. Kung kayo ay self-proclaimed writers, self-proclaimed journalists, at kayo ay nag-chat GPT ng news ninyo, umuwi na lang kayo. Okay? Umuwi na lang kayo. Huwag natin sayangin ang oras ng isa't isa kasi wala na kayo agad credibility. Okay? Kung magsasearch lang kayo na news about this and that, o kaya naman, feature writing about this and that. Hala, wala na tayong credibility about that. Kung gagamit kayo ng mga ganyang klaseng technology, kailangan gamitin ninyo or sa tamang paraan. Okay? Pwede kayong maghanap ng ideas online. You can borrow some ideas or pwede kayong mag-cite ng mga concepts online, pero huwag kayong magnakaw. Okay? Ayusin natin yung paggamit ng ating media. Ito rin yung reason kung bakit merong negative na image ang Gen Alpha at Gen Z kasi yung ibang mga founders iniisip nila that they're better than the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha kasi sabi nila, kami noon naglalakad kami ng bundok-bundok para lang makapunta sa sa paaralan namin. Kailangan naming maghalungkat sa mga inaanay na libro in order to gather information. And to be fair, it's not easy. It's actually very hard kasi ako inabutan ko rin yung kung gusto mong maghanap sa library ng mga information, kailangan mong isulat. Hindi rin pwede mag-photocopy. Kailangan isulat talaga. Pero ngayon, we have the internet. Meron tayong iba't ibang mga sources. But you need to use that effectively in the right way. At tatandaan, ayun sabi ni Ella, yung ethos, pathos, and logos natin. Napaulit-ulit ng na-mention sa inyo. Okay? So, ayan. Yung ilan. Fundamentals na tinatawag natin in order to be an effective journalist. Okay? Ayan. I think we have another one here, Aki, if you're going to allow me to read this, is from Ella. And what to say po to people who weaponize the freedom of speech to spread hate speech. Ayun na nga. Ayan, napaka ano nito. Kasi yan yung madalas na sinasabi ng mga Karen, 'di ba? Na napaka Facebook ko to. Yun ang sinasabi, 'di ba? Facebook ko to, wala kang pake. Kung ano ang sabihin ko, wala kang pake na sa gagawin ko, sa mga desisyon ko kasi Facebook ko to eh. 'Di ba? Huwag ka doon. #my opinion na yun nga daw. 'Di ba? #my opinion. Ano daw ang gagawin natin dyan? Alam mo, most of these people, again, in reality, you cannot convince them na magkaiba yung freedom of speech sa hate speech. Although, katulad nga ng sinabi natin kanina, diba, that these two things are completely different. But again, kung kayo ay marunong mag-navigate ng conversation, marunong mag-manipulate ng words, na hindi ng tao ha, marunong kayo mag-manipulate ng words in order to reach yung understanding and psyche ng mga tao na yun, you'll be able to explain why there is a difference at kung ano yung difference ng dalawang bagay na yun. Madalas na sinasabi yan ng mga marites, ng mga chismosa, 'di ba? Sa mga tao na wala kayo pakialam, comment section ko to, post ko to, Facebook ko to. Sabi ni Aki, not all opinions deserve to be heard, especially if may tinatapakan na. Ayun, kailangan nating makategorize kasi yung mga ganitong klaseng bagay. And sometimes, ito tatandaan nyo my dears, I know you're young, you have a lot of energy, but do not waste your energy sa mga hopeless case natin. Okay? Facebook note daw agad. At ito huwag kayo makikipaglaban sa mga ganun. Yung mag-stoop low kayo sa mga nag-share ng fake news, you can inform them, pero iba na yung mga keyboard warrior kasi. Sometimes ayun yung ginagamit nila para masayang din yung oras ninyo. At kahit na anong sabihin ninyo, kahit na anong ilatag ninyo na information dyan, kung sarado ang isip ng isang tao, hindi nyo pwedeng i-operate yan, buksan yung utak nila at expose sa mundo. Of course, figuratively. 'Di ba? There will come a time na kailangan nating i-consider na nasa sariling palo ng tao kung gusto niyang tulungan yung sarili niya na matuto. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng turuang magbasa ang isang taong nagbubulag-bulagan. Mas mabilis pa daw turuang magbasa ang taong bulag kaysa doon sa nagbubulag-bulagan. Kasi at least sila, ginagamit nilang ibang senses in order to read. Pero yung taong nagbubulag-bulagan, kahit pa ipakain mo na yung mga letra dyan, iluluwa lang din nila yan. So, ayan. Ayun nga, sabi ni Ella, diba? Choose your battle. Ayan. Ayan si Emilio. Ayan, si Fentebella merong question. As we talk about freedom of speech and fighting for press freedom, how should we face media company itself such as SMNI that practice red tagging? Again, be wise sa face ng ganitong klaseng battle. We can do something about that. Starting with, again, sharing information, the correct and the truthful, factual information na meron tayo. Hindi tayo necessarily magfo-focus on their downfall, but mas mag-focus tayo doon sa mga bagay na kaya nating i-reach, kaya nating kontrolin, which is of course our own circle. Magsisimula tayo, lalo na kung wala naman tayong resources like them, magsimula tayo sa kung ano yung meron tayo. Okay? And when students from Olfu sa senior high school, nakita nila yung need na yan, nag-request sila na sana magkaroon ng ganito, it was given to them. So, gawin natin kung ano yung kaya natin gawin. Ako personally, I can change the minds of the people around me, but I had the help of my editorial board para makagawa ng isang platform kung saan makakapagbigay tayo ng tamang impormasyon. Mula doon sa mga tamang dates ng mga walang pasok, sa mga bagay na mga paalala, it looks so mundane na sobrang simple na parang hindi magkakaroon ng pagbabago because of this. But the practice of credibility, yung practice natin na ginagawa in making sure na lahat ay merong, or lahat ay nabibigyan ng tamang impormasyon, that is important din. Pero sa pagpa-practice ng red tagging, you just need to prove na mali sila ng sinasabi tungkol sa inyo. Do not justify things na alam ninyo na walang kinalaman sa inyo. Kasi yun yung, minsan yun yung reaction natin eh. 'Di ba? Na nagiging, nag-overcompensate for certain things or about certain things. So again, you need to choose your battle. Lalo na kung wala pa kayong masyadong resources. Isa rin yan sa mga itinuro sa amin. When I was in college naman, ako ay nasa isang problematic na university, no? At mas problematic ngayon. So if you know that, di ba? I won't even try to say kung saan yun dahil it's embarrassing. But yeah, hello sa mga nakakaalam dyan, di ba? It's the truth na sabi sa amin isa kong instructor, kayo as students, during our time, sabi kayo as students, kahit na matatalino kayo, wala kayong magagawa kung ang kakalabanin ninyo ay merong power over you, may hold over you. Meaning, kaya kayong sirain o kaya kayong kayang sirain yung pangarap ninyo or yung kinabukasan ninyo. What you can do now ay mag-aral kayo mabuti, mag-ipon kayo ng credentials, gumawa kayo ng pangalan na hindi nila masisira, tsaka kayo mag-ipon ng strength para kaharapin sila in the future. And that is exactly what we are doing right now. Nag-ipon muna tayo ng knowledge. Nag-iimpok tayo ng kaalaman. So again, kailangan nyo munang maging mahusay. Okay? Kailangan maging foolproof, kumbaga, kayo in order to face these kinds of threats na meron tayo. Okay? Yun ang tatandaan ninyo. Bago kayo lumaban sa battle, make sure na kumpleto ang gear ninyo at syempre, hindi lang yung materials ang kakailangan ninyo. Kailangan nyo rin ng game plan. Ayan, isa yan sa mga turo sa akin ni Sir James. Kailangan natin ng game plan with everything that we do para maging foolproof yung mga plano at mga gagawin natin. Sabi ni Ella, if someone is cognitively biased, their brain are systematically programmed already. Yes, ayan yung sa isang question natin. Exactly. And dahil nasa mga tao mismo, yung choice, yes, exactly. Kung maniniwala sa katotohanan or hindi. Ayan. Hindi ko nabasa kanina yan. Apologies for that. So, yeah. Meron pa bang question? Meron pa ba?
Meron pa ba? So, narinig po ba ako?
Yeah.
Baka nag-iisip pa po ng questions yung iba natin. No? So, ako naman po muna ang magtatanong. Hala! So, ayun po, no? Even with our law about Campus Journalism Act, yung ibang campus journalism po is still being watched by their admins, especially if you are a starting organization, no? So, because of that, nalilimit po yung capabilities na ibang journalists kasi po, they have to think na, I am being watched by these admins, so I have to limit what I'm writing. So, what can we do as a strategy to handle that kind of situation without limiting our potential and allowing ourselves to write objectively, to write truthfully, and without minding those, people in the back?
Okay, that's a good question, no? Pero ako personally, naniniwala ako na hindi mo lilimit yung capability mo to write just because nililimit kung ano yung pwedeng ibulgar. That's the ibulgar. Diba? Sabi ni Sir James sa the PLV case daw. Yun nga, sumabog yung case sa PLV, especially nung nag-post na si Jerry Gasho. It's been going for years already. Pero ayun nga, sa question ni Aki, again, hindi ako naniniwala na limited ang capability ninyo. You just need to focus or gumawa kayo or mag-isip kayo ng way para i-transform yung energy na yun. Ano yung ano natin, di ba nasa law of something yan? Nasa law of something na ang energy na tatransform yan, hindi siya nababago completely. So, hindi nyo kailangang baguhin kung ano yung paniniwala ninyo sa kung paano kayo, kung ano yung gusto ninyong ilabas. You just need to be wise. You need to be smart kung paano nyo yun gagawin. So, again, balik tayo doon sa mga panahon ng oppression. Saan nag-turn? Yung mga writers natin, literature. That's the reason why I shared literary pieces that we had in TGI. Diba? Na kapag hindi mo masabi ng diretsya, gagamit ka ng mga mabubulaklak na salita. And if the people reading yung mga work ninyo, kung gagamitin nga nila ang kanilang critical thinking, if we foster critical thinking, then maintindihan nila kung ano ang gusto niyong sabihin. Kaso ang problema sa atin ngayon, na minsan nandyan na yung reason, nandyan na yung meaning, sinasampal na kayo, hindi pa rin natin makita. Ano yung mga simple cases na yan? May magpo-post ng clips ng movies, tapos nakalagay yung title ng movie. Tapos sa comment section may makita ka, ano yung title ng movie? 'Di ba? Example lang 'yan. Na hindi lahat ng tao ay kayang i-digest kung ano yung mga nakikita nila kasi they're too focused sa ibang bagay. At sa rise ng social media, sa mga content na meron tayo, yun ang problem natin right now. 'Di ba? Na paano natin to itatransform into something na mabilis at madaling i-digest ng mga tao. I suggest you guys read A Letter to Sky Pig written by Leigh Antonio sa The Green Ink na page. I suggest you guys read that. Napakahusay. Isa sa mga example natin. 'Di ba? Na hindi natin sinesensor yung literature, but we are controlling how we are getting the message shared. Okay? It's not entirely negative naman. Kung isipin natin, hala, controlling daw. Diba? Yung mga keywords, hala, hindi dapat kinokontrol. But again, self-control and syempre yung academic at matalinong discourse ang hinahanap natin. And sometimes, it starts with how we are writing. Kailangan nating maging wise, maging matalino, maging mahusay sa pagpili ng mga words na gagamitin natin. Okay? Ang sabi nga, para hindi ka matimbog, dapat madali kang or mahusay kang mang-uto. And by mang-uto, yun yung sinasabi ko, diba? Yung pagiging creative in using words. Diba? Sabi ko sa mga students ko, sa creative writing, kung meron akong mga students sa creative writing, you can make someone fall in love with you using words. And you can change the world. Diba? Using words na sa tingin mo ay sobrang simple lang. By using simple words na ihahabi mo, itatahi mo ng very intricate. At yun yung dapat na pinapractice natin. At tinitrain natin sa mga workshops. That's it. May mga pahabol pa ba tayong questions, clarifications, any valid reactions? Gusto nyo bang pag-usapan yung mga cases na meron tayo dyan? Huwag na. Let's be wise. Yan yung sinasabi. Be wise. Ayun na po ang checking. Wala pa naman, no? Wala namang question sa ating chat box. No worries. It's always a pleasure. Ayan. To talk to you. Ayan. I'm glad na nadadagdagan na kayo, no? And hopefully madagdagan pa tayo. Okay? I think you can take it away, Miss Aki. Thank you, thank you. I think nagkakaroon ng difficulty si Aki, no? Sa ano natin, sa pag-navigate ng kanyang electronics. It's completely fine. Yan talaga nangyayari sa live broadcast. Okay, but I think she's here already.
Hello po, sorry, nagkaroon po ako ng technical problem. Naririnig na po ba?
Yes, loud and clear.
Nasaan na po tayo? Sorry, kaka-join ko lang po.
I think we're done.
Ayun. So, narinig ko naman po yung sagot sa question pero nawala po ako sa end part. So, I just want to say that I really like the answer. Kasi, for me po kasi, choices of words matter. Especially when writing. You have to choose your words wisely. And you have to be wise and critical. So, ayun no. I also believe that if we are being silenced, that's the time that we are supposed to speak louder. We shouldn't limit ourselves just because someone is watching. Kasi if someone is watching, then we have to show up more. So I don't know. Thank you, Miss Kay, for this for the insightful discussion. And now, as for us to express our gratitude for accepting this invitation, we'll now present the certificate of recognition. Wait, next slide po, please. Ayan. Let me read the citation. Yakal Pilipinas present this certificate of recognition to Miss Kyla Roche Emaas, LPT, for sharing uh, lumabo po yung slide. I'm so sorry. Hindi ko na ma-read. For sharing valuable wisdom in the webinar titled Speak Up Kabataan, a discussion of on speech, on freedom of speech and of the press in celebration of Yakal Human Rights Consciousness Week titled Kilalanin ang Karapatan, Kilos Kabataan, given this 20th of December 2024 via Google Meet. Signed, Mr. James Kevin Buama, co-leader of Yakal Pilipinas. Signed, Mr. Elec Hope Benaventura, co-leader of Yakal Pilipinas. And signed, Ms. Chloe Nicole Mendoza, co-leader of Yakal Pilipinas. So ayan, we are very much grateful for your presence, Ms. Kay. And of course, to our dear attendees for tonight. Thank you for taking your time to listen here with us. So now, hindi ko na pahahabain pa. May I please call on our co-leader of Yakal, Mr. James Kevin Buama, for his closing remarks.
Ayan. Tulig ba? Tulig ba tayo? Ayan. Unang-una sa lahat, salamat Miss Aki for the introduction, no? Special mention muna kay Miss Jamira Pakuan. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity na mag-closing remark. Kasi supposed to be dapat si Miss Jamira yung no? Mag-opening remarks dito, no? Pero may mga lapses lang tayo kanina, no? Na di natin kailangan pa i-disclose sa atin. Diba? Gusto magpasalamat muna kay Miss Kay for promoting yung NGO, Dayakal, at yung kanyang NGO na TGI. Maraming salamat sa encouragement at sa pagpopromote. Mas nagsilab yung apoy at mas mananatiling nagsisilab ang apoy pagdating sa pagmamahal sa ating diskurso. Sapagkat wala naman talaga tayong ibang aasahan lang din kung talagang sumuko na no, yung ating pinaka-nakatatandang henerasyon, kundi yung mga kabataan din talaga no, na siyang magpapanatili na nagsisilab ng apoy no, para sa lipunan natin. Ngayon, patungkol naman sa media, gusto ko lang magbigay ng mga ilang komento. Ang media kasi ay isang double-edged na plataforma ng kahit anong bansa, no, double-edged siya. Maaari niyang mahalin ang demokrasya or maaari niya ring patayin yung ating demokrasya. Medyo nakakalungkot lang no sapagkat sa Pilipinas marami tayong mga media outlets ngayon na hindi nagse-serve na watchdog or vanguard pagdating sa sa pagdepensa ng ating demokrasya. May mga self-proclaimed na media pero halata naman talaga na black propaganda yung kanilang pinaka-adhikain, 'di ba? May mga media din naman talaga na talagang for business purposes din talaga. Kaya nga every time na nanonood kami ng Itbulaga sa TV5, medyo nalulungkot ako no kasi ang TV5 ay talagang makita natin talaga na ang kanilang station ay may pagka-business talaga no sapagkat nagagamit itong plataforma ng mga ibang trapo para i-promote yung kanilang mga kanilang mga advertisement no unlike sa ibang istasyon sa atin. Ako mahigpit na naniniwala sa konsepto ng pluralistic model pagdating sa demokrasya na dapat ang what you call this pluralistic sa ating media outlet na tinatawag. Pag sinabi natin pluralistic na model, ibig sabihin, ang media dapat ay tumatayong watchdog or vanguard ng ating demokrasya. Hindi naman kinakailangan na sobrang objective at sobrang balance ng isang media. Ako ay naniniwala na dapat maging critical talaga ang media, no? Kaya nga i-encourage ko rin ang aking mga estudyante na kung mas gusto nila ng mas malalim na pagpapahayag, magbasa sila ng Rappler. Bias talaga ang Rappler, pero ang kanila kasing paghahatid ng mensahe ay critical. Hindi lamang sila hindi lamang sila nagbibigay ng simpleng pagbabalita, bagkus tinutulungan din nila mismo yung mga mamamayan para mahita talaga or mahimay mismo kung ano yung nangyayari sa ating lipunan. Yun lamang po no at sana po sa mga susunod na mga taon may mga umusbong din na mga grassroots na media outlet kagaya ng TGI na sa ibang iba't ibang universidad na siyang tutulong din para magpakita kung ano nga ba talaga ang puti ay puti at ang itim ay itim. At hindi pwede maging itim ang puti at hindi rin pwede maging puti ang itim sa atin. No? Ako po ay muli nagpapasalamat sa leader ng Yakal, si Sir Elec, sa mga thought leaders ng Yakal, sila Aki, sila Jamira, sila Ella, sila Kuleng, sila Jana, at of course kay Miss Kay sa pagbibigay ng kanyang malalim na kaalaman pagdating sa press freedom. Yan naman po at maraming salamat po.
Ayan, and thank you for that wonderful and heartfelt message, Sir James. So, now, let's take a photo op, guys. Please open your cam. Uh, Jam, kari ba ikaw mag-picture sa atin?
Yes. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. Ayun. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Diba? 1, 2, 3. Ayun. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Remind ko lang po, yung evaluation form, ipepresent po namin yung QR code and you may answer the evaluation form to receive your e-certificate. Ayan, wait lang. Ayan, please take a screenshot. And if na-access na po ang Google form, you may now leave this meeting. Thank you, everyone, for today. Your presence is highly valued by us. So I hope to see you to our last webinar tomorrow. So thank you. Thank you, Miss Kay. Thank you, Sir James.
Thank you, Sir Alex, Sir James, Aki, everyone.
Thank you po. God bless po.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. I'll see you guys around.
Bye po.